بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I welcome you to another episode of our series As-Safaratul Kiram, where we try to perfect the art of reciting the Quran. I am your host Abu Ammar Yasir Qadi. We all know that many of the surahs of the Quran begin with various letters: Alif, Lam, Mim, Yasin, Hamim, Sad, Noon, so on and so forth. These letters, they are known in Arabic as the muqatta'at, or the disjointed letters. Now the scholars of tafsir, the scholars of the Quran, they have differed greatly over the precise meaning of these letters. Many merely just give up and say only Allah knows, we have no idea what the actual meaning of these letters is. Some scholars state that the purpose of these letters is meant to confuse and baffle the disbelievers. Others say that these letters are acronyms, that they represent, for example, the names of Allah. So Alif stands for Allah, and Lam stands for Al-Latif, and so on and so forth. Yet others try to assign numerical values to these letters, and that for sure is not a correct opinion. It seems, and Allah knows best, that the strongest opinion is that these letters are an indication of the miraculous nature of the Quran. Because these letters are exactly 14 in number. And the Arabic alphabet is composed of 28 letters. So Allah Azza wa Jal uses 14 of these letters as if to tell the disbelievers that, look, I am mentioning the Quran, I'm reciting the Quran in the very speech that you use. The very letters that you use, can you produce something similar to it? These are 14 letters. Can you use the remaining 14 and produce a Quran, produce a book similar to it? And a factor which adds weight to this particular opinion is the fact that almost every time Allah mentions these letters, He immediately emphasizes the Quran after it. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. This is the book, there is no doubt in it. Hamim وَالْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينَ. The book that is clear. So on and so forth. So, Qaf wal-Quran al-Majid, Qaf, the noble Quran. Almost every time Allah mentions these letters in the Quran, He immediately follows it up by discussing and by emphasizing and by showing the blessings of the book itself. Therefore, Allah knows best, it seems that the strongest opinion is that these letters, in fact, are a challenge to the disbelievers. That here are 14 of the letters, produce a Quran equivalent to it if you can. And as Allah says in Surah Baqarah, that they will never be able to do it, even if they all cooperated together to do so. They would never be able to produce a Quran similar to this Quran. With this introduction, we now move on to the very topic of these letters. Continuing along our rules of Mad, we talk about now the beginnings of the surahs, and this, alhamdulillah, is our final episode regarding the Mudud. After this, we move on to another topic. So we've had 6 episodes regarding the Mad. This will be the final one, and this is known as Al-Mad Al-Lazim Al-Harfi. Don't get confused, don't worry about the names. The point is that this topic deals with Al-Muqatta'at, or these letters, Alif, Lam, Mim, Hamim, Sad, Qaf, all of these letters at the beginning of the Quran. When do you do a Mad on them, and when do you not do a Mad? This is the topic of today's show. And we say that all of these 14 letters can be categorized into 3 distinct categories, with regards to the rules of Mad, obviously. The first is those letters, or in fact the letter, in which you only pronounce the name and you have no Mad whatsoever. No Mad. And that is only one, and that is the letter Alif. So anytime the Alif occurs in these beginnings of the surahs, you merely pronounce the Alif, and you don't make any Mad on it. You say the letter Alif, and then you move on. As in here, Alif, Lam, Mim. Okay? The second category are those letters where you are supposed to elongate, to have a Mad of 2 harakas. Not more, not less. There is no option in any of the muqatta'at. You have to be precise in the length of the Mad. And there are 5 letters where you only have to pronounce them 2 harakas. The Ha, the Ya, the Ta, the Ha, and the Ra. This, the acronym is Hayyun Tahura. Hayyun Tahura. Once again, we've been exposed to a lot of acronyms. All of this is so that you can memorize these letters with greater ease. So you're supposed to memorize Hayyun Tahura, and then you know that Hayyun Tahura are those letters which you only elongate to 2 harakas. So for example, you have the Taha. Remember the beginning of Surah Taha, it starts off with Taha. That's all you do. You don't make it longer, Taha. Neither do you make it shorter, Taha. You actually make it Taha, exactly. 2 harakas, exactly. And the last category are those letters which you prolong to 6 harakas. And these are the remaining letters, and they are the noon, the qaf, the sad, the ayn, the sin, the lam, the kaf, and the mim. And the mnemonic, the memory trick for this is naqasa aslakum. Naqasa aslakum. You keep on repeating this, naqasa aslakum. You will memorize that these letters, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters. 8 letters you have to prolong them to 6. 5 letters you do it to only 2, and 1 you only pronounce the letter, making a total of 14 letters of the muqatta'at. Okay, so again, very simple, very easy to understand. All you have to do, remember we say over and over again that the rules of tajweed are not confusing. They might be a lot in number, but they're very simple. You just have to take them one at a time. So the rulings with regards to the muqatta'at are that they are divided into 3 categories. The first category is the letter which you pronounce without any mad, and that is the alif. And the second category are those letters which we pronounce with a mad or an elongation of 2 harakas, and there are 5 letters, hayyun tahura. And the final category are those letters which you pronounce with a long mad of 6 harakas, and this is combined in the phrase naqasa aslakum. So let us now recite some of the beginnings of the surahs, and we'll restrict ourselves to the beginning of the surahs in order that we get a better idea of these letters. Let us start off with obviously the first surah in the Quran, or the second surah after Surah Al-Fatiha, Surah Al-Baqarah. Okay, in the Surah Al-Baqarah, all of you know the beginning is Alif Lam Mim. Let us now look at this chart. Where does Alif go? Alif goes over here in the beginning. Lam, is it in Hayyun Tahura? No, it is in Naqasa Aslakum here. Okay, likewise with the Mim, it is over here. So if you wanted to recite the Alif Lam Mim, how would you recite it? Alif Lam Mim. Okay, here's an important point, and that is that when you are reciting the muqatta'at, you must also apply the rules of tajweed. Okay, so write out the lam. You have lam, and then you start mim. You have 2 memes, you must do a ghunna in the middle. Remember we said when 2 memes combine, the first of which is silent, the second of which moves, you must have an idgham shafawi. So you apply the rules of tajweed, the rules of ghunna, while you are reciting the muqatta'at. You don't say alif lam mim. No, you must do a ghunna. Alif lam mim. So the lam 6 harakas, the mim 6 harakas, and in between the 2 ghunna of 2 harakas. Okay, Amr, can you recite for us the alif lam mim?
Alif lam mim.
MashaAllah, very good. What other surah has a beginning that is we should go to? Let's try. Al Imran is the same, right? So Surah Maryam, we'll get to there. Let's go in chronological order, excuse me. Let's try Surah Al-A'raf first. Surah Al-A'raf, and then we move to okay, Surah Al-A'raf is the 7th surah in the Quran. Here in Surah Al-A'raf we have Alif Lam Mim Sad. We have one more letter, Sad. Where does Sad come? Sad comes once again in the 6 harakas. Okay, so let us try Surah Al-A'raf. The beginning of Surah Al-A'raf would be like this. Alif Lam Mim Sad. Notice Lam, how long?
6 harakas.
6 harakas. Mim, how long?
6 harakas.
6 harakas. Sad, how long? 6 harakas. Where was the ghunna?
Between the
lam and the mim, and that is it. I didn't do a ghunna between the mim and the sad. Why? Because there is no ghunna between. Write out the mim, you will have a mim, ya, mim. And then write out the sad, you begin with sad. This will be idhar shafawi. So there is no ghunna over here. Alif lam mim sad. So there's a ghunna between the lam and the mim, and there's no ghunna between the mim and the sad. You also have a qalqala. Very good, jazakallah khair. Sad. Okay, because of the fact that we ended with a dal sound, because we're pronouncing the letter. Okay, so we have one ghunna and one qalqala in the very muqatta'at. So we're applying the previous rules, nothing new. It's just that we're applying them in a different way. Let us move on to Surah Al-Ra'd now. Okay, Surah Al-Ra'd. Surah Ar-Ra'd is what number in the Quran? 13. The 13th surah. Okay, here we have Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra. Here we have a Ra instead of the Sad. Now where does Ra come? Notice it is in this one, the second category. Okay, so we only elongated to 2 harakas. Alif, Lam, Mim, Ra. Ra. I didn't say Ra and move on, because it is of the second category where we only prolonged it to 2 harakas. Let us move on to Surah Taha then, the next one. We're not going over all the surahs, just some of them that have these beginnings. What number is Surah Taha? Taha is 20. Okay, Taha, obviously both of them, right here, Ta and Ha. Okay, both of them are 2 harakas long. So we pronounce it Taha, Taha. If we were to make it longer, it's a mistake. Ta or Taha, mistake. Each one has to be 2 harakas. Taha. Okay, now let's move on to, oh, we forgot Maryam actually, right?
Yes.
Maryam is a very interesting one because I have a lot of letters. Maryam is the right before it, number 19. Okay, look at Maryam, surah number 19. We have the Kaf. Firstly the Kaf, where's the Kaf? Over here. 6 harakas. Then we have the Ha. 2 harakas. Then we have the Ya. Where is the Ya? Also 2 harakas. Then we have the Ain.
6 harakas.
6 harakas. Then we have the
Sad.
6 harakas. So we have 6, 2, 2, 6, 6. Now we also have to look at the rules of ghunna.
Yes.
Kaf, Ha obviously will not have any ghunna between it. Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad.
That's it.
So there will have a ghunna here. Because Ain, you write it Ain, Ya, Noon. And then you begin with the Sad. This will be what type of ghunna? Ikhfa. And then there will be a qalqala where? At the end of Sad, because there's a silent Dal. So we'll recite this one. Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad. Okay, so we notice we have the Kaf, 6 harakas, the Ha, 2, Ya, 2, Ain, 6, Ain is 6. Ain is 6, with the Ikhfa, with the Ghunna, and then the Sad has the Qalqala. Okay? The Ain is considered a Madlin, but we'll do it 6, it is considered to be 6 over here as well. So why don't we all both do Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad, repeat after me. Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad.
Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad.
Okay, so once again, it's very easy. You just remember the letters that are there and you see which ones apply to where. Let us go to another surah. Let us try Surah Ash-Shura, which is surah number 43 in the Quran. Surah Ash-Shura. 42, you're right, 42 of the Quran. Here we have a Ha and a Mim, and then Ain, Sin, Qaf. Okay, so we have once again 5 letters here. So once again, we notice that only the Ha is of the 2 harakas, and then the Mim is down here, 6. Also the Ain, also the Sin, also the Qaf. Okay. Hamim, Ain, Sin, Qaf. Here we have the Ha, 2 harakas. Sin, Mim was 6 harakas. Obviously there's no khalqa, no ghunna, because nothing comes after it. Mim. Ain, what happened here? We have the 6 and then we have a ghunna after it. Ikhfa. Ain, the ghunna there. Then we have the Sin, 6 harakas. Another ikhfa. Sin, Qaf. But there's no qalqala because we end on a fa. Qaf. So there's no qalqala. Hamim, Ain, Sin, Qaf. So we have Ha, 2, Mim, Ain, Sin, Qaf was 6 each, and we did the particular ghunnas and the qalqalas that were done before. So this is a pretty easy topic, alhamdulillah. We're talking about the muqatta'at, the beginning of the surahs, and we merely divide them into 3 categories. The first category is the letter which is pronounced without any mad, and that is the alif. The second are those 5 letters which are pronounced with a mad of 2 harakas, and that is Hayyun Tahura, the 5 letters of Hayyun Tahura. And the final category are the letters that are pronounced with a mad of 6 harakas, and these are Naqasa Aslakum. And make sure that when you pronounce them, you do the proper ghunnas and the proper qalqalas where applicable. This brings us to the conclusion of today's episode. I hope to see you in our next episode. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.